let's get into it, y'all. The review for June. I took my time reading this because of how energetically this was filled with so much energy. But the theme of it that I loved the most was the breaking generational curses. It was the breaking of pride. It was the hammering and the chiseling at rock hard stone to get to that molten, ooey gooey center. The good part, right? The good stuff. Oh, this was it was so good. It was so good. This was a walk through a botanical garden and just noticing the different texture, color, smells of the plants and flowers. This was June's, and it wasn't just June's evolution, everyone's evolution, everyone who was involved evolution. Now, Tatiana, that ending, you're going to do it every time. You're going to do it every time. That ending, you're going to do it every time. You know what I love about her? She will pair up. She's so good. She will pair up. And there be pairs that start, or at least the seed begins, maybe 3-4 books ago. And then you see that developing as well into coming books. Not a lot of people started in the first book and ended in the first book. It was a continue, you know what I mean? It was a beautiful love story. She's good at pairing. And one thing Tatiana is good about it, as this is my last book before the new one comes out, but I'm done with this series so far. There's no more after this. I was going to dive into the Cove cities that come before you start Zoo Boys. So I am going to dive in there, but I'm going to take a small little break. That way I can get a little bit more on the Cove, because I did not know, but I know now. But anyways, off that. As so far with the zoo, I'm caught up. But Tatiana is so good with the way she does her hot chili peppers. Let me tell you something. I have no complaints. That lady knows how to write some chili pepper spice. I'm talking Scotch bonnet pepper with the seeds. Scotch bonnet pepper. If you know, you know. But she gives that Scotch bonnet pepper kind of spice. My God. It's thug love and thug passion on a whole nother level. Anywho, I will give this book a definite 150 out of 10. I loved the evolution of the blue and the orange, and just the generational curse breaking and understanding that together we are better. So much was happening in the beginning that, honestly, as optimistic as I am, I truly did not see where they were going to be able to get some type of resolution. However, in the thick of it, in the middle of something where I knew for sure, I was like, oh my God, they're about to blaze off right now because their boys are at it. Actually, they came together. Let me tell you something, these grown men. Also, I had to keep reminding myself what Bishop looked like. Y'all, in my mind, Bishop was this big, black, fat nigga, right? In my mind. But when we got the picture of Bishop, I said, damn, Bishop fine as hell. Bishop fine as hell. So I just, every time I got to his chapter, because every now and then you saw his picture. Every now and then. And anytime I got to his picture, I was like, yeah, that's right. Bishop was a fine ass nigga. Fine. Over 6 feet. Tatted up. Black. Not as fine as June, but. And the coming into who you are. That as well took place. Let me tell you something. Well written. Well done. Well read. I loved it. I loved it. And I can't wait for the next, and this cover is so beautiful. I can't wait for the next book. But I do have a review for that I'm working on, that I'm gonna be working on. It took me, I would have been finished this book. I would have been finished this book, y'all. But I had some real life grown woman things that distracted me from reading, and nothing distracts me from reading. Anyways, but yes, good job, Tatiana. I loved it, and I cannot wait for the continuation. I am hooked to this urban soap opera, My Fairy Zoo Mother. Until we meet again, thank you again for a lovely work of art. This was beautiful. This was rich color, rich. I love the way you write. You write colors. I can hear colors, smell colors, see colors, feel colors. I can hear the sound of colors when you write. I can hear the sound of words when you write. You put your feeling in it, girl. You don't play around with them words. I can see it, and now I'm in love with orange more than I should be. Until next time.